My name is Bradley Hoover, and I'm here to interview for the strength and conditioning job for the boys water polo team. The things I considered while making my program were the bioenergetic analysis, the movement analysis, injury considerations that are common in water polo, and I included a periodization training program. The first part, bioenergetics analysis, the phosphocreatine system, which is the short-term 0 to 6 seconds of high-intensity exercise, involve throwing and shooting for the water polo boys, and they spend about 5 seconds in that system, or 5% of the game in that system. The anaerobic glycolysis cycle, sprints, when the boys are swimming at a higher intensity across the pool, draws from the anaerobic cycle or system, 33%. The aerobic glycolysis is the longer swims in the egg beaters that they're performing almost the entirety of the game, and they spend about 62% of their time drawing from that system. The next thing I considered was movement analysis, the 3 major movements they do: swimming, throwing, and the egg beaters. The movement analysis, I broke it down from the glenohumeral joint, the movement involved in swimming, internal rotation, the humeral radial joint, the motion involved during swimming, flexion and extension, the acetabulofemoral joint, the motions involved for swimming are flexion and extension. The throwing movement analysis from the glenohumeral joint will be horizontal abduction, extension, and internal rotation. From the humeral radial joint would be flexion and extension. The egg beaters, the acetabulofemoral joint, flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction for the circular motion that's created while they're doing their egg beaters. The common injuries in water polo that occur at the glenohumeral joint: subluxations, which are caused from impacts, normally when the water polo player is throwing the ball and their arm is met with the force normally from an opposing water polo player. It could cause a subluxation. Rotator cuff injuries, overuse, inflammation, sprains, and tears just from the constant swimming and throwing. The humeral radial joint, medial epicondylitis from overuse. Normally the overhand throwing motion is the cause of that, which the water polo players will do very often during the game. Acetabulofemoral joint, adductor hip flexor strains, again, overuse from the constant egg beaters that they do. The periodization training program is made up of warm-ups, plyometrics, swimming, and resistance training in an effect to improve their performance, improve their anaerobic and aerobic capability, improve their strength, and the warm-ups are designed to reduce injury, as well as the resistance training, building the supporting muscles to those joints, will help reduce the injuries. The warm-up consists of your pre-activities, the dynamic exercises, arm circles, arm swings, and when they get into the pool, swimming at a lighter speed to get warmed up, egg beaters across the pool to get their legs warmed up, and playing catch to get their arms warmed up. Your post-activity during post-activity stretching will be static, which will involve just the static stretching that they do, because static stretching after activity reduces the risk of injury. When it's done before activity, it is possible that it will increase the risk of injury. Plyometrics will be performed Tuesdays and Thursdays during the program when they don't do any of their other resistance training. The exercise example will be 2-foot ankle hop, squat, jump, chest pass, and 1-arm throw. Every 2 weeks, they'll change and get more difficult by choosing a more difficult exercise for the muscle joint. For example, the squat jump will become the split squat jump after 2 weeks in a new microcycle, which is more difficult than a squat jump. And then that will become a single leg vertical jump, which is more difficult in a third mesocycle, and then they'll just repeat through. The swimming portion, you have your 4 major swims: 200 meters, 100 meters, 50, and 25. The first 2 are to improve their aerobic capability. The second 2 will focus more on their anaerobic capability, as they're shorter swims at higher intensities. It should improve their speed and their swimming technique. Will be done Monday through Friday. The mesocycles will typically begin with microcycles of just the 200 and 100 meter swim, and each week we'll add another one and another one until they get into the preseason, which they will perform all 4 swims almost every day. Resistance training, broken up into 2 exercise routines. You'll spend 1 week in each routine to focus on core multi-joint lifts such as dumbbell press, bench press, squats, lat pull downs and 1-arm row, and then there will also be some assisted lifts, dumbbell curls and tricep kicks for the single joint exercises, and abdominal crunches. For the off season, there'll be 4 different microcycles that are designed for the first 2 microcycles to focus more on hypertrophy and endurance, doing 3 sets of 15, 65% 1 rep max, and then the 3 microcycles 3 and 4 of the off season will focus more on basic strength and strength and power, doing 4 sets of 8 at 75% of the 1 rep max and 4 sets of 6 at 80% of the 1 rep max, each microcycle being 2 weeks long. Preseason, the intensity will increase to help the boys peak as they go into the season. They'll be doing basic strength and power lift sets, such as, again, the 4 sets of 8 at 75%, and the 4th microcycle being 5 sets of 5 at 85% of their 1 rep max. When they're in season, they'll be doing their maintenance phases, 3 sets of 6 at 80% of their 1 rep max, just to maintain their strength as they go on through the season. And the postseason will involve them taking a little bit of time off because the water polo seasons typically end in November. They'll most likely take some time off during Christmas break, where they'll be encouraged to participate in active rest, doing recreational activities like biking with their friends, swimming for fun, or playing pickup basketball games. And then they'll get back into the strength and conditioning routine, starting off with hypertrophy and endurance sets, 3 sets of 15, 3 sets of 10 for the first 2 microcycles, and then build into strength as it prepares them to go into the preseason, and so on and so forth. The final part will be the testing phase that the boys will participate in. Vertical jump for lower body power, 1 rep max bench for upper body strength, 1 rep squat for lower body strength, 6 by 25 meter swims to test their anaerobic abilities. All the testing is designed to make sure that the strength and conditioning programs are working and improving their strength. And thank you for your time. I'm Bradley Hoover.